Good morning, and welcome to Daylight with Dean number 89 on July 9th, 2020. I'm so grateful to have you here with us today. Thank you for taking the time out of your morning, afternoon, or evening to share this time together. One thing we always share our time with is my coffee, and I forgot to make it last night, so I just made it, so it's very hot, so I'm just going to have three little sips. There you go. It's funny how hot coffee can bring so much joy at such an early hour. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. The last few days, I've gotten compliments on my shirts. I went to my haberdashery for the summer again the other day last week. I went to Sam's Club, and they had three shirts that actually two shirts that I had not found before or had not purchased before for $15.95 each. And yesterday's shirt and this shirt was one of them. And then the the long sleeve blue shirt I wore last week as well. But then I also bought the light blue shirt that I've been wearing so much I snagged it on a table the other day when I was sitting there. I went to get up and it snagged. Well, they had another one, and so I replaced that one. So it's the only place that I can buy shirts and not feel financially guilty about it because of the price. $15.95 for the quality of shirt is really a good deal, and very excited about that. So yes, I now buy my shirts for summertime at Sam's Club. So my wife, when I told her, she said, well, it's kind of like Aldi because Aldi's prices are so reasonable that every time she sees something at Aldi that captivates her interest, piece of yard equipment, piece of deck furniture, piece of gadget of this or that, you know, at Aldi prices, you just about can't go wrong. Even if it doesn't work out, it's worth the try. So I've been wanting shirts like this. They're that material that whisk the moisture away. They don't make you sweat more. And for those of you that know me, you know summertime weather is my most challenging season. Give me that cold, frigid, icy snow. Give me that any day of the week. I can put enough clothes on to stay warm. Man, you give me this heat and this humidity, I'm useless. I mean, more than normal useless. And so these shirts are helping me navigate summer, this summer especially, joyfully. How about how little rain we've gotten compared to the past three summers? Is it crazy? I mean, the past three summers, we've gotten so much rain so often, nonstop. And this summer, it's like, where'd the rain go? Did it just turn off? Our Franklin Park campus, I think I mentioned, has been meeting outside for 7, 8 weeks, and every Sunday, no rain, no rain, no rain. That's unheard of in Western PA. So that's been fascinating. Two things I wanted to cover with you this morning. First of all, I learned something new yesterday. And it's not a change your life kind of new thing, but it's a new thing that I've been I've been doing something a certain way for over 30 years, and I learned a new way yesterday. And here it is, another show and tell. Because summertime makes me sweat so much, I sweat a whole lot right up in my head, right up in my face, right here. And now that I'm working out at the gym every morning, I have to have my bandana with me. So I have always just taken my bandana when I'm just tying it across my forehead. I've always taken it and I've just rolled it and 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 rolled it. And then you have this little tag here, and you can either like tuck it under or do what you do. And then I've been putting it on my head and tying it. Now, the problem with that is sometimes these little things raise up and it doesn't fit very well. And so at the gym yesterday, my buddy's like, well, you're doing it wrong. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm doing it wrong? I've been doing it this way for 30 years. And he said, well, we'll do it this way. He said, take the two ends and fold them together. I said, okay, I can do that. Got it. He said, now start folding at this end. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, just take it and fold it here and fold it here and then fold it here. I've never done this for an audience before. And then fold it there. A little bit. He said, now put it on. He said, you don't have your little flap coming up. You don't have that triangle you have to worry about. And I'm like, you're a genius. I mean, for 30 years, I've not gotten my bandana the right way. And do you know why I have it this way now? Do you know why I figured it out? Because I have a new friend in my life. My buddy that I mentioned yesterday on Daylight. Same buddy I work out with at the gym. And it's a fairly new friendship for about 4 years now. And I would have been putting my bandana on my head the wrong way for another 30 years if it were not for my good friend. So, wait, what is that? Oh, YouTube. Who needs friends when you have YouTube? Yes, I could have watched it on YouTube to figure out how to tie a bandana, but that thought never crossed my mind. I'll take a new friend over YouTube any day of the week. Okay, so last story. Yesterday morning, about 9:45, I had to go through the bank drive-through window. Well, actually, not the window, the tube that you put the money in that shoots it up. And, oh, you ask why I had to go through the drive-through window? Because I can't go into my bank right now. So I have to go through the drive-through window, and I pull up, and there's a car at the, at this bank, there's only one drive-up lane. There's a drive-up lane for the ATM machine, and then the drive-up lane for the tube and the access to the banking with a real person. So I pull up, and there's a car there already dealing with the teller. Do they still call them tellers? I don't know. The banking assistant. And then there's another car, and then I pull up. Well, shortly after I pulled up, this lady came walking around and starts walking toward me, and it's like, oh, somebody wants to talk to me. But she just stopped short of my car, and she was just kind of standing there waiting. And I realized, oh, she's waiting to go into, to do some banking as well. She just doesn't have a car. So then the car that was there already doing their banking pulled out, and the car in front of me pulled up. And she was standing. It was hot. And I was there, way before her. I was there when she got there, but I said, you know what? I wouldn't want to be standing out there anyways myself. So I just kind of waved her in front of me. And she's like, no, it's okay. I said, no, go ahead. You can. And you would have thought like she won the lottery. Not really, but she was so thankful. Just thank you. Thank you so much. So we started chit-chatting, and she said, it's not a whole lot of fun waiting because you get all the exhaust fumes that you have to deal with while you're waiting. And I said, well, I hope my exhaust fumes aren't bothering you. She goes, no, I'm so glad. Thank you. So then she went up to the teller and did her, I don't know what her transaction was. Oh, she had to sign a check because when that car pulled out, then she got the pen out of the tube and signed a check and put it in and then sent it in. And she got on the speaker and asked the people, she said, I have my grandkids, could I have some lollipops? And she said, thank you very much. Well, they sent the tube back, and it was packed with more lollipops than I've ever seen at one place. I'm like, holy mackerel. So she takes the tube, opens it up, opens her purse, turns it upside down, gets all the lollipops out, closes the tube, puts the tube back in the thing, waves at me and says, thanks again, and leaves. And so I pull up, and I get the tube, and I notice there's an envelope still in there. And for me, whenever I get cash, when I cash a check or something, I don't like the envelope because the envelope then accumulates in my car, and my car looks like a garbage can inside. And so I typically will just put the envelope back in and send the tube back so they can throw it away or reuse it. Yes, I know, I'm a little OCD. So I thought, oh, she doesn't like the envelope either. So then I open it up, and I pull it out, and it's thick. I'm like, what is this? And so I'm like, well, should I see what's in here? And I open it up, and it's packed with cash. Now, it wasn't $1 bills. It was a really thick stack. And I'm like, I was so confused. I'm like, she just came and got all of her lollipops and left her cash. Kind of like the Godfather reference. Leave the gun, bring the cannoli, or take the cannolis. Cannoli. Leave the cash, take the lollipops. And so I was like, oh, well, she'd already like made it around the corner, and so the teller looked at me like, you okay? And I said, I think she forgot her cash in here. They're like, what? I said, yeah. So I put it back in, sent it back in, and I said, do you want me to go track her down? And they're like, no, it's okay. So I did my banking, and then while I was doing my banking, my friend that works there walked in front of the sidewalk in front of me and went and got her, and then they came walking back together to go into the bank to give her her cash. So I tell you all that because it's just not every day that you go into the bank. I don't know what that tube is called, but you do your banking that way, and you open it up, and there's an envelope full of cash. So that was my excitement for the morning. She came walking back, and she said, thank you so much. I'm like, man, I said, those were some expensive lollipops, or could have been some expensive lollipops. But I just, as I've mentioned on previous Daylight, just struggled with how can I, in New Kensington, how can I express the notion that everyone's life matters? And how can I live out that Black Lives Matter? And, for me, it just has been this kind of whisper, like, just look for the little ways. Look for the little ways. Look for the everyday normal ways. And so when I was sitting there, and now if you know me, I am a line person. Like I got my place in line. I react very badly when somebody cuts in front of me. I get in line at the supermarket, and if two lines are look about the same, I get in the one I'm certain will take the least amount of time, and then I gauge how I did by when the other line goes through. I know it's a sickness called being a man. I know that, but I do that, and you know, I was sitting there, and the car pulled up in front of me, and it's like, why would you make this lady who came after you wait? She's right there. Just wave her. Let her go. Let her go. And now, many of you will be like, well, yeah, Dean, that's normal courtesy. Like, yeah, sometimes I'm a little late to the game on some of those tiny little things that I miss. And I'm so grateful that every once in a while, just every once in a while, I get it right. Because when I get it wrong, it's really embarrassing. And I'm so grateful to have gotten it right. So my invitation today is look for those moments that you can be gracious, that you can be kind, that you can live in deference to somebody, defer to someone else, live out a portion of Philippians chapter 2. Don't look only on your own interests, but look out for the interests of others. And that was a good way to start. Well, I started my day yesterday with daylight. This was, almost 4 hours, almost 5 hours later, but it's a good way to start a day. So may you bless others today. May you be surprised at those simple ways that you can brighten somebody's day just in the normal routine of life that you live. And in doing so, may you help bring joy and laughter and love and goodness to someone else's life everywhere you go today. That's my prayer for you today. And yes, one final piece of advice. Take the cash and leave the lollipops. God bless you guys. Thanks. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Have a great day.